Dear friends, meditation practitioners, last week we started talking about how to get rid of some bad habits in our lives. And last week we talked about 5 qualities that we can develop in our lives to strengthen our mind to let go of bad habits in our life. So let me give a quick recap of those 5 things. The first one, energy or effort. We have to put energy, effort to let go of unwholesome thoughts and developing wholesome thoughts. Second one, mindfulness. And the third one, concentration. Fourth one, wisdom. So in that category, we talk about we have to understand impermanence in our life. And the fifth one is the confidence that we need to have about that process. So today, I'm going to talk about a bad habit almost all of us have in our lives. Procrastination. So today I'm going to focus on procrastination and how to, what we can do to let go of procrastination in our lives. So dear friends, procrastination is something almost everyone struggles with. Most people know it is harmful because it quietly steals success, happiness, and peace of mind. Yet, millions of people find it difficult to overcome. So, how can we get rid of procrastination? The first step is to understand that procrastination, like everything else, is conditioned and impermanent. It doesn't arise on its own. It appears because of certain causes and conditions. When we understand those causes, we know how to remove them. One of the main causes of procrastination is strong attachment to sensual pleasures, worldly pleasures. Instead of doing what truly needs to be done, the mind seeks immediate gratification through pleasant sights, sounds, smells, and touches. Imagine now someone who is about to begin an important task. Just as they are getting started, they receive a news alert about the result of a soccer match, maybe a World Cup match. Then immediately a desire arises to watch the highlights or maybe go to some websites and read about how that match went on. So instead of beginning the important task, they choose to satisfy that desire. So watching the highlights brings a brief moment of pleasure, but when it is over, they no longer have the same mental energy or motivation to do the work they postpone. As a result, they delay it again. Then, next morning, they might regret wasting their time and their energy. Then this can become a vicious cycle. Desire for sensual pleasures leads to postponing important work. Temporary enjoyment is followed by reduced energy and motivation. The task is delayed even further. The delay creates regret and stress. Regret weakens the mind, making procrastination even more likely in the future. To overcome procrastination, we must learn to manage our sensual desires instead of allowing them to control us. So this is only one cause. There are some other causes as well that trigger our procrastination. But if we can control our sensual desires, then it helps us to control the procrastination that is caused by sensual desires. One powerful way to do this is by reflecting on the impermanent nature of sensual pleasures. Every pleasure we experience through the senses is short-lived. It arises for a moment and then disappears. The enjoyment of watching soccer highlights or scrolling through social media or any other form of entertainment lasts only a short time. But the consequences of delaying important responsibilities can remain for days, months, or even years. So when we truly understand this, we begin to make wiser choices. So instead of postponing what is important, we postpone the craving for immediate gratification. So then this strengthens our self-discipline and our willpower. So instead of postponing what is really important, we postpone and we delay that immediate gratification. So then it helps us to strengthen our willpower. And it is also helpful to regularly reflect on the benefits of completing our most important tasks. Because finishing meaningful work brings lasting satisfaction, confidence, and peace of mind, far greater than the brief pleasure of giving into distraction. And also focusing on our goals is also helpful for us. So we can also remind ourselves what I truly want to achieve in my life. So then it helps us to strengthen our mind, then it helps us to let go of other distractions in our life. And also we should strengthen mindfulness through regular meditation and daily awareness. So especially if we can be consistent with our meditation practices, it helps us to improve our awareness. So then when we have a strong mindfulness, awareness, when intentions arise in our mind that take us toward some sensual pleasures, then we can be aware of those intentions, those thoughts inside of our mind. So then as soon as those thoughts arise in our mind, as soon as those intentions arise in our mind, we can identify them. Then we have more time and more power to let go of those intentions and thoughts in our mind. Otherwise, if we do not identify those intentions and thoughts, then what happens? It becomes stronger and stronger. Then we become weak. Then it will take us to that temporary gratification. Then we put off things. Then we do the procrastination. So that's why we always need to pause and ask ourselves before making any decisions on our desires. Will this action lead me toward my goal? Or is it simply satisfying a temporary craving? So this question could be very simple, but it helps us to break that train of thoughts that come to our mind that take us toward those sense pleasures. So, I mean, yes, still we can enjoy those sense pleasures. Okay? But before doing that, we can ask a simple question. So then it helps us to more aware of what we are going to do, and then it helps us to strengthen our mind. Then it helps us to let go of those desires in our mind at that moment. So that moment of mindfulness gives us that freedom to choose wisely. So procrastination is not who we are, because sometimes people might think, oh, I always do the procrastination, so I always put things off. So, but it is not who we are. It is conditioned. And also it is subject to change. Procrastination is also subject to change. So it is simply a conditioned habit. Since it arises because of causes, it can also cease when those causes are removed. So by understanding the fleeting nature of sensual pleasures, reflecting on the value of meaningful work, and practicing mindfulness every day, and being consistent with our meditation practices every day, we gradually weaken procrastination and develop the discipline to live a purposeful and fulfilling life. Then very easily we can be happy about our life without having any regrets about our life.